You are watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905 812 2923. Info at netsoftakademy.com. www.netsoftakademy.com.
So now let's start with lab number 33. Lab number 33 is where we are just setting up all the things necessary to monitor Exchange server performance. Now, I'll show you one thing. If I start the Exchange server without the Active Directory, remember the Active Directory domain services or the domain controller itself is not powered on at the moment. We just took a snapshot and we are in the previous lab and we haven't powered it on yet. So I'll show you what exactly will happen the moment I try to log in. We'll wait for it to complete here. And remember, there's no second domain controller. There's only one domain controller in this entire forest or in this entire domain. So we'll wait for this to complete. Once it completes, then you'll be able to see what is the difference I'm talking about here. All right, the machine has started. Now, when I try to log in, other user, Nita / administrator and password 1350. This will give me an error because my domain controller is not running. It is the domain controller is the one that is doing all the AAA and everything. And that was the general logic in the previous listing. But now you see, this can work independent of the domain controller. That's perfect. Works for me. But if you still have the problem and if you have an issue with this, I would rather just start my ADDS first, just for the peace of mind that I know for a fact that my domain controller is running and my AAA process is happening much more easier. The one reason why this could be able to log in is because number one, I'm logging in as the enterprise admin on a domain join machine. And number two, the global catalog is available here. If not, then this would not work. All right, so let's go to Server Manager. And under Server Manager, we look for Tools and Performance Monitor. Performance Monitor. So under Performance Monitor, we expand on Data Collector Sets. And we right-click User-Defined Data Collector Sets. And you can see you already have Exchange Server Diagnostics, all of these. I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to create a new data collector set and name it Exchange Monitoring. Now you can just use it. You can just use the create manually option. Next. And then under this, you can select only the performance counter that you want and click on finish. Now your data collector set is here. Let me refresh the data. You can see it is running here or it is stopped here at the moment. Then I just create another one. I create one more Exchange Server data collector set. Now this one, however, will be a little bit different. So right click here on the Exchange Monitoring, click on Data Collector and name this collector base Exchange Monitoring. Base Exchange Monitoring. And under this, we are going to select Performance Counter Data Collector. Next. Now the performance counters that we need to add for this. So click on Add. And once you see this, scroll down or scroll up, depending on where you are, scroll up and try to find, and under this, under processor, expand the processor. You can see everything is selected here. We don't want everything. So just hold on for a second. Okay, so after we have created our entire exchange monitoring and everything else here, I'm going to right click exchange monitoring, click on new and select data collector. Now, a few steps I might be repeating again because of a few things that went in the wrong direction for me. So we just want to make sure that everything is on above board right now. So the name is base exchange monitoring. Next, for performance counters, I'm going to add the performance counters and we are going to start from processor where we were last time. Now under this, under processor, we are going to first select privilege time. Now not the C3 time though, processor time and user time and click on add. Now once this is done, I scroll up a little bit until I can find memory. You can also do one more thing. You can just select one and then you can also generally this is the one of the things that is allowed here, that you can just quickly use the letters and find what you want to, but some if it doesn't work, that's not a problem. So under memory, I'm going to select available M bytes, page reads per second, pages input per second, pages output per second, then pages per second, and yes, press Control for everyone. Otherwise, you'll just see what I have done. So remember that. Scroll down. Then the next thing that we are going to add is pool page bytes here. And the last thing that we want to get is transition pages repurposed per second and click on add. So available M bytes, pages input per second, pages output per second, pages per second, pooled pages bytes, transition pages repurposed. Okay, the next thing that we want to add again is now this time this is from the exchange, the MS Exchange part. So we scroll down a little bit, we find Microsoft Exchange or MS Exchange AD domain controllers, AD access domain controllers right here. Now under this, I find LDAP read time. Let's find LDAP. So you can see LDAP is already here. LDAP read time, LDAP search time, LDAP timed searches timed out per minute, and lastly, long running LDAP operations per minute. I click on add for all of them. Oh, it's okay. It's more than one or two selected at the same time. I click on OK. Now, under the units here, though, I'm going to send the sample interval from 15 seconds to 1 minute, making sure that it takes data for 1 whole minute and not the entire thing. And then I click on finish. Now, this is one data collector done. We are going to create another data collector now. That one will be monitoring for the performance of the mailbox server role. So again, right click, new data collector. This will be mailbox role monitoring. Next, again the same process, we click on add. Now, for this one, however, we are going to look for logical disk. We're going to look for logical disk. It should be on the top of memory. I'm assuming that it is where it should be. Yep, logical disk. So under logical disk, I want to find average disk per second read or sec per read. Average disk sec per read. Okay. Average disk sec per transfer and write. I click on add. Then the next data collector set that I want, or next counter that I want to add is going to be from the MS Exchange IS store. MS Exchange IS store. This is all so we can scroll down a little bit. The best part about all of this is that it's all alphabetically organized. Just remember, if there was no alphabetic organization, how difficult it would be. IIS, not IIS. We need IS. Microsoft Exchange IS store. Exchange IS store. Okay, that is going to be a little bit down if I'm not wrong. Because it is Exchange IS is one whole word in itself. So could be a little bit down. Like it would be something like this here. Yep. IS, and we're looking for IS store. So it will be here. Now, one of the things that you need to remember is that we need to find all of these things. So it takes a little bit of time. So under this, the first thing that I'm going to add is going to be RPC average latency, then RPC operations per second, and RPC requests along with messages delivered per second. So scrolling a little bit up, messages delivered per second, and I click on add. I click on OK, and again the same thing. I'm going to change the interval to 1 minute and click on finish. Now, sometimes remember that the instructions cannot be followed to the letter. I know this. Instructions cannot be followed to the letter, but we try to follow the instructions as closely as possible. So once we are done with this, we just right click Exchange Monitoring and click on Start. So this is right now logging all the data. Now, once the data has been logged, or once it has started, then we can just right click again, click on Stop. This would have generated the report. Then we again right click here and look at latest report here. It's fewer than 2 data samples, that's okay, but you can see what exactly is happening here. You can run it again if you need to. So that is that. Now, you can also look at the Windows logs. So you can go for Event Viewer. Under Tools, you can go for Event Viewer, expand Windows logs, and under that, click on Application. Now, you can filter for your source as well. Now, you can see that it is loading up all the log events here. You can filter for these ones. So you can see that all of this Exchange, MS Exchange, XXX, everything was working here. You can see that all of these have been logged. There has been an error with the mitigation service and the common, and that's generally that. Now you can review the details of the errors here. Like for example, this MS Exchange common error. Under general, you can review the error and you can see what exactly happened here. And that is how you monitor things. And that is also the end of this lab. So I hope you are excited for the next lab because we are going to be building on this platform for a little bit on monitoring and compliance. So I'll see you in the next lab. Thank you.
Thank you for watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. Info@netsoftakademy.com. www.netsoftakademy.com.